Matt Wilton, everyone. Welcome to another McGuire webinar, live for you to find out more about the McGuire Programme and what it consists of. If all the attendees can please turn on their cameras, that would be great. All the panelists, thank you. Great to see you all. So, yes, we've got five new graduates that joined the programme a few months ago here tonight, who are going to be showing you a little bit about what their speech was like before they joined, and a very brief chat explaining what it's been like for them on their journey. We're also going to be doing a very brief chat about the course setup and about the techniques used, the support network. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to explain a little bit about the fact that we're now running online courses. They are online/hybrid courses, so that means that potentially there'll be an opportunity for any of the new students that attend to be able to meet up with a coach as part of the course. This might not be possible in some cases, but hopefully with the inquiries we're getting from South Africa and the UK, this will be possible. There is a difference in the face-to-face to the online version, okay, which would mean that if you were doing it online, you would need to do it away from your family and friends, totally, so you can focus 100% on your speech. So you've got no distractions at all. So that's quite a big commitment for you. And really, this online version is more for people that have just had enough of their stammer and are just willing to run through a brick wall, really, to get control of their speech at last. Because it is intense, it is long hours, and it is hard work. And as much as the fact that on a course we're there with you in the hotel, you are doing it away from us, even though there is a lot of support before, during, and after the course when you're at home. Now, if you want to do the online version, it's really important that we meet your family and friends before the course. Also, that you get to meet some of our coaches before the course and the course instructors, and that we find out a bit about you and that you find out all about what the McGuire Programme consists of before you commit. Okay, I'm going to pass you over to Lisa Neelan, who's going to talk a little bit about the course setup. Lisa.
So I joined the programme in 2015. I, like Matt said, had just basically had enough of struggling day to day with my speech and decided that the time was right to do something about it. So joined and haven't looked back, became a coach and then a course instructor. And we normally start about 7 p.m. It's no more than a couple of hours long. It's basically a getting to know you type of session. So we ask you some very basic questions just to get to know you and your stutter. We do record it. We always would let you know if we are recording, and this is basically for you to keep so that you can reflect back and you know where you started and where you're heading and where you get to. So it's always good for us to reflect when pushing forwards. So we will be sharing a lot more about ourselves that night too. So we'll be showing you our first day videos. So we ask you to do nothing that we haven't done ourselves. We run through stuttering in general, what it's all about, how we're going to combat it over the next few days, and then we all have a rest ready for the first full day on the Thursday. We start nice and early, usually around 8 a.m, and we run for 12-hour days for the rest of the course from here on in. We have 10-minute breaks every hour and longer breaks for lunch and dinner. We are obviously on Zoom, so we do our instructing and all our learning in the main room, and then we send you off into breakout rooms with some amazing certified coaches on the programme who really care and support for you along the way. So you're in really good hands. So on the Thursday, we tackle the physical side of your stutter, and we learn your techniques in order to gain control of that physical, that physical demon that we've all had to live with before we join the program. So again, we introduce topics, and then it's very repetitive. The coaches will go over what we've learnt you in the breakouts, so there's no need to worry about what you pick up and what you don't in the main room. We go through all the physical techniques that you need to know, and by the Thursday evening you'll start and feel ready to speak with McGuire technique in confidence and in control, which is a really lovely moment. So that's literally the first day, and we finish at around 8 p.m. So again, it's a 12-hour day, but with rest and meal breaks. And then we get up and we do it all again on the Friday. We again start about 8 o'clock. We give an overview of the day before. We go over what we've learned in respect to the physical side. But Friday is all about the psychological side. So we look more closely at your mentality towards defeating your stutter. People only see on the surface, don't they, that what we're sort of that freezing, that struggle, but they don't see everything that's going on underneath. That isolation, the shame, the guilt. So we talk about the power in accepting our stutter as well. There's no cure. So we learn new techniques to get in control of it. But we go through that a lot on the Friday. So the psychological techniques that you can use to really get in control and be okay about it and be okay about who you are, which for me is something that I hadn't even thought about before joining the program. So that's the Friday. Again, by that evening you'll be in more control again, and you'll be eager to speak in front of the group. I promise you that. Even though it might not seem like that, I promise you that you will be in that position by the Friday. Any standout moments will be recorded, and again, we always let you know when we're going to record them, and they're memories for you to keep and reflect back on. So we tend to do that daily, to be honest, throughout the course. Again, we finish at about 8 o'clock, so another 12-hour day. Then we all get lots of rest for the Saturday, which is when really we bring it all together. So the physical, the psychological, accepting ourselves, having fun with speaking, and it's a really fun day. We put everything into practice. You'll have seen the coaches demonstrate using the techniques on the Friday out in the real world. And on the Saturday, you get to do that with the support of our lovely coaches. So you're never on your own, and you'll always feel supported. I can't emphasize that enough. Obviously, logistically with COVID, things may change around on the Saturday doing contacts, but obviously we'll just be revising that nearer the time. But hopefully, if things go to plan, you will be able to get out there with coaches and into the real world to practice. And that's it. We work on going home, getting back to our lives. We learn about the amazing support that you'll get after the course, which Chantal's going to cover for you, a little bit later on. And, that's just the beginning. The work really only begins at that point, but with our help and support and care. And that's about it. So I'm going to pass you over to Paul now.
Thanks, Lisa. Paul Pallick is my name. I joined the McGuire Programme in April 2002. and it's been an extremely interesting journey ever since. Much like Lisa, I worked very hard and soon became a coach, and then went on to become a course instructor as well. I've had the privilege of instructing many courses in the UK and further afield as well. So it really is something that can give you the ability to go on and do some amazing things. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd be traveling the world instructing material that helped give me control of my speech. But here I am doing it now over the internet. So that's another first. Lisa talked about what to expect on, or the schedule for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the course. I'm going to tell you a little bit more detail about what you might be able to expect over those few days. Firstly, we basically call Thursday Physical Thursday. Thursday is the day that we introduce you to all of the physical tools and techniques that we teach. We teach them because this is, we believe, the best way to actually take control of your speech. If, like me, you've tried other therapies in the past, I tried NHS speech therapy, private, I tried hypnotherapy, the list goes on, and none of it seemed to work. But this physical stuff, it can be by the end of Thursday, like Lisa said, you'll be saying your names and addresses. It can be that you'll feel that you've got it, you've got where you want it to be. So it all starts with breathing. We retrain our diaphragms. We use a different part of the diaphragm than we might do normally. That gives us the power to be able to make sounds, formulate sounds and words. So we go on to teach hit and hold, where we, rather than perhaps shying away from the first sound of that word, we go on to really attack it and prolong it. We attack it and prolong it to show ourselves that actually, do you know what? We can say these sounds. We'll not be beaten by them. And if you like, the fact that we're attacking them just shows how much power we need to throw at them. And it also goes some way to explaining a bit about the mindset. Perhaps in the past, we've thought a little bit, oh, woe is me, I'm so hard done to, I'm in the 1% and the minority. Well, you're turning things around and you're taking control. No one else can do it for you. So these physical weapons start to help you do that. We also teach block release as well. So if we come across a particular point where we feel some tension, but we're not quite willing to push through a block like we might have done pre-McGuire, we can use what we call a block release as well. Just hitting the sound and releasing it and going back and saying it again. Something else that helps very much with the physical side of things is adopting a deep and breathy tone. And it can be that simply by practicing your costal breathing and your deep and breathy tone, you can go into a lot of situations and scenarios, and that can really be powerful enough to get you through most things. Certainly they're the two physical weapons that I like to employ the most. They sound quite cool as well, where you can get a deeper tone. And also it does work for ladies as well. You don't have to have a terribly deep tone, but it's just focusing on perhaps your chest rather than your vocal cords and articulators, as you might do as stutterers. So that basically ties up Thursday. We then go into Friday that we call Psychological Thursday. Sorry, Psychological Friday. So we, Lisa touched upon the iceberg earlier. Think of the iceberg. You've got maybe 10% above the waterline. So those physical weapons will handle that, the stuff that you can see, that your listener can see and hear. But the 90% of the iceberg that's below the waterline, that's going to be dealt with the psychological stuff. And probably one of the best ways to help describe kind of our ethos towards the psychological stuff. Think of someone that might be afraid of spiders. Think of someone that might be afraid of heights. And what sort of advice do people often give about these things? Well, for me, when I was on holiday, we were visiting somewhere and they had these big hairy tarantulas. Now, if you hadn't already guessed, I don't like spiders, but I was facing my fears and I rather nervously held out my hands, and I held this big, huge, hairy tarantula. So I was doing something that I wasn't terribly comfortable with. But do you know what? By the end of that, I wouldn't have said I love spiders, but I'd started to overcome a fear of them. People that are perhaps scared of heights, you might be encouraged to go and take a skydive, to face that fear, to overcome that fear. Well, psychological Friday has us use the physical weapons in a slightly different way, slightly different mentality towards it. You're being open and honest rather than hiding the fact that you've got a stutter. I was not able to hide the fact I had my stutter. Most of the time it was very obvious. But if I went into a situation saying I mustn't stutter, I mustn't stutter, I mustn't stutter, then the first thing that happened as soon as I opened my mouth was I stuttered. Whereas now if I go into a situation and openly show myself as someone with a stutter, my stutter leaves me alone. And that's really, really powerful. And that might, for some people that are looking for a cure, for a fix, that really can hold them back. But hopefully during Thursday into Friday, Lisa and I can show you what actually happens. And the coaches that you'll get to work alongside as well are fantastic. We've all been through this. Like Lisa said, you won't be asked to do anything we've already done ourselves before and are prepared to do again. Saturday is the fun day. Saturday brings everything together that we've learned over the previous 2 days, and we get to work on some really exciting workshops, and then hopefully, depending upon how things are by then, taking them out onto the street as well. So it really is a fun-packed course. There's an awful lot to get through, plenty of hours worth of tuition, but there'll also be plenty of times for rest as well. And I think I've probably said enough there. I've gone over my time limit. So I think I'll now hand back to Matt, who will steer us in the right direction. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Paul. Now over to Chantal with the support, the after support.
Chantal Anderson speaking. Thank you, Matt. So my first course was in June of 2012. I was 17 when I joined the programme, needing lots of support. So the Lifetime Support Network, when you join the programme, from that point onwards, you've got support from everyone on the programme who's been exactly where you've been. I think it's really important to think about it and think that as someone who stammers, we all know that sense of isolation, and it holds us back. And when you join the programme, you have access to the support network, and that is comprised of 3 things: the international phone and Skype list, the support groups, and refresher courses. And I'll just talk a little bit about each of these things. So the international phone and Skype list, no matter what time of day that you're wanting to call up a coach, there'll be someone available to speak to you, whether that's first thing in the morning, during your lunch break, or in the evenings. And that's really, really important. They're really helpful coaches and they want to hear from you. So remember that. Also, there are support groups. Now that we're mostly working from home and using things like Zoom and Teams, etc., we're having many of our support groups on Zoom, and they're happening at all different times of day, all different times of the week. So know that once you do join the programme, the support doesn't just end there. Also, once you have the opportunity to come on a course, you might find, like me, that you sort of picked up a few things, but it was a little bit overwhelming perhaps, and you couldn't remember everything. So you can come back on refresher courses, and these just help to really install all of the techniques and help you to make sure that you're staying in the right direction. I won't go on too much, but know that we're all here to support you. We've all been in exactly the same place, and we're excited to go on this journey with you. Thank you very much, and I'll hand back over to Matt.
Thank you, Chantal. Okay, now we're going to show some first day videos of a clip of what these people were like before they joined the McGuire programme, and then they're going to give you a brief update on how things are going. So Umara is first.
Umara Hussain.
It's nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Hi, Wickham.
How long have you lived there?
All my life. Umara Hussain. I still can't watch that video without getting upset, but here I am now, 2 months after McGuire, and doing things which I thought would never be possible, like doing this webinar. Before McGuire, I held back a lot in my career, my personal life, and was really unhappy. And the breaking point was when I hated teaching, and that was when I joined the McGuire programme, and I can honestly say it's changed my life, and I'm enjoying teaching again. Those of you who know me know that I like to talk, and not being able to talk before McGuire was the lowest point, and now I can say what I want to, but when I block, I know there's techniques, and I can call any coach at any time for advice, and they'd help you. So the support network is amazing. The course may be difficult, but it's worth it. And if I can sit here, do this webinar, then it shows that it does work. Thank you, Umara Hussain.
Thank you, Umara. Brilliant stuff. Okay, Chantal, now we're doing Laura.
What is your name?
Hi, my name is Laura Edwards.
Where are you from?
I'm from Telford in Shropshire. Laura Edwards. My first course was in April. And at this point, I was really struggling with my speech. Nobody knew about it, and I was able to hide it really well. But this meant that I was saying before almost every word, or I was completely altering the word around if I knew I couldn't say the word coming up. I got away with this for so long and nobody actually knew, but I became so scared to talk that I would rather be quiet in most situations, and the list of words I thought I couldn't say began to grow more and more, that this was a last resort for me because I am also a teacher, and was really knocking my confidence. I really felt as though I would never tell my friends, colleagues, or anybody. I was adamant because I didn't like how my stammer made me speak. But since the course, I have told everybody that I know no longer use tricks to cover up my stammer, and feel happy to be honest and open, and have found that I've had so much support off everybody since, and I have had an interview that I've been successful in since, and find that I can stand in front of the pupils that I teach. Even though I still don't feel perfect, I feel really happy in myself and confident, which, to be honest, I never thought I would be able to do. On top of this, I feel supported every day from the coaches and from the other students on the course, and really enjoy using the support network. So would definitely recommend the course to anybody, because I felt like there was nothing out there that can help me, but I was proved wrong. Laura Edwards.
Well done, Laura. Thank you very much. Okay, now to Haseen. I think Chantal.
Could you tell me your name, please?
I'm Hassan Farouk.
Thank you very much, Haseen. Where do you live?
I live in Watford.
Hassan Farouk speaking. So as you saw in that video, I pushed through all my blocks and tried to get the word out, and that made the facial contortions really visible on my face, and I'm sure you'll agree that that's not an eloquent way of, that's not an eloquent way of speaking. As you can see now, I've used the McGuire techniques to make my speech sound more controlled, but not fluent. We will always be stammerers, so the program doesn't aim to cure you as such. It provides you with weapons to keep your stammer under control and allow you to choose when you want to show your stammer through the deliberate use of weapons or disclosures to other people about your stammer. I had the misconception that I needed to hide my stammer because otherwise I wouldn't fit in into society. But people respect those who overcome their challenges, and I found when I talk to people, they congratulated me on facing my fear. So it's a misconception that people treat stammerers differently. If anything, you're treated as someone who's faced up to their challenge. So don't be afraid to own up to your stammer. Haseen Felix speaking.
Excellent, Haseen. Thank you so much. Great for somebody so young. Well done. Okay, the next person, Chantal. Chantal, can you put Chantal up?
What is your name?
Hello, my name is Chantal Clough.
Tell us your address.
1 Sandringham Close, London, Leighton, E10, number 6 HJ.
How many brothers or sisters do you have, and what are their names?
1 brother, thank God, and his name is Mark. Chantal Clough speaking. Hi everybody, welcome to the webinar. Like the rest of the graduates, I completed the McGuire 2 months ago, and as you can probably tell from my video, I use lots of other words before the word I wanted to say. I got my address completely wrong on that video. I used to do a lot of head nodding, and as a covert stammerer, I thought I was doing okay. I was getting by. I'd have some bad days. My bad days were the telephone. That was the Achilles heel that I would avoid, and managed to for 42 years. Obviously, thanks to lovely family and friends. I joined the McGuire after looking at it 10 years ago in Liverpool, and always found an excuse. Couldn't afford it, didn't have the time, spend the money on a holiday, talk myself out of it purely through not owning up. I'm going to say it. Chantal Clough. I have a stammer. Proud of it. Working on my speech. We'll all be working on it for the rest of our lives. But the McGuire has given us the tools, the techniques, the love, the family support, I call it. I know the coaches are there, but it's like a family. And the after support is there, as much or as little as you need. You'll be hearing a lot tonight, and you'll probably be thinking, oh God, it's a lot to listen to. Contact us, reach out, and just ask, because one of the greatest benefits of McGuire is you can learn to control your speech, reduce the fear you have, and put yourself out of your comfort zones. But like tonight, me watching my fellow graduates, it's wonderful seeing them do so well, and we're going on a journey together. So that has been the best part really for me. It's being part of a team that have watched one another have bad days, but also have great days. And as Lisa's mentioned, on day one, when I think we could all say our name, using the weapons even, it was a joyous moment. So reach out, ask us, speak to us, and we look forward to seeing you. Chantal Clough.
Excellent, Chantal. Thank you so much. Okay, Jamie Kent, the last one.
Oh, could you tell me your name, please?
Hello, my name is Jamie Kent.
Nice to meet you, Jamie. Where are you from?
I am from Norwich.
Who do you live with?
My wife and my 2 children.
Could you tell me their names, please?
Charlene, Rocco, and Rio.
What do you do for a living, Jamie?
I am healthcare interface specialist. Jamie Kent. That was me. Using avoidance. Using words as fillers, as I knew I was going to stumble or stutter. Now I can talk fluidly, say what I want, how I want, to whoever I want. I'm now starting to enjoying speaking to large groups of people through work, through social clubs I'm involved in. Feels inspiring that I can educate and train others. Back then, if you said I was going to present to large groups of people, I would have avoided it, run away, done a PowerPoint presentation, and thought that would be it. Not only is this helping you to overcome your stutter, but also helping you to open new doors, go up through work accomplishments, new jobs. The world's your oyster in some ways. If you've got the right mindset, and you want to push yourself, you can keep pushing and go as far as you like. If you've got the mentality that you've had enough and you want to give it all, then it's a place to come. Like everyone said, without repeating everyone, it's a great partnership, family, support, and just a place to bounce ideas or issues when you've had some down days, because others see a different light and you realise you're coaching yourself. You know how to pull your socks up and push forward. I hope you come and join us. Jamie Kent.
Thank you, Jamie. And thank you, all 5 of you, for coming on tonight, being on the programme for just 2 months. And we only had you 5 at the last support group, and you all said you would do it. So no holding back there at all. Fair play to you. The next course that we've got, just to let you know before I forget, is the 7th to the 10th of July. Okay, that course is an online course for inquiries in South Africa and in the UK. We will be having Lisa Neelan and Paul Pallock instructing that course, with Chantal Anderson, who you've also met tonight, being the Zoom controller. So we've got a great team, and loads of amazing coaches have already signed up for it. So it's going to be a spectacular course. Anna, you may even see these new grads back on that course at some stage. I know they're dying to get on there. Hopefully. Anyway, we've got some questions, I think. So, Lisa, do you want to read out some of the questions and I'll see if I can answer them all? Because there's quite a few, wasn't there?
Of course. So, 2 seconds.
The first one, I think, was how can I join the programme? I'm based in South Africa in Johannesburg. Okay, if you were looking for a face-to-face course, then unfortunately it's looking doubtful this year that we'll be able to run face-to-face courses in South Africa. I know that you're now into or starting the 3rd wave of COVID as well, so it's not, again, an ideal time. And so hopefully next year we will be able to run face-to-face courses again for you, just like in the UK. However, the online version, there's the possibility that you might want to join the programme that way. Okay, the best thing you can do is to contact me directly via my email or my phone number, which you would have potentially have had already in the mail shots that I sent everybody. If not, you'll be able to find out it on the website. Okay, so please do contact me that way, then I can arrange a chat with you and talk about your individual situation. Okay, what was the next one?
So the next question, Matt, is from Michelle. Would this type of course help for a child who has problems with word finding difficulties and struggles to make and maintain conversations? He has ASD.
Well, I think the first question there is because we only specialise in stammering or stuttering, as everybody here involved in speaking today has a stammer and a stutter. So we are only experienced at dealing with those situations. Again, though, I think I'd like to have a chat with you about this face to face, about your son, to find out exactly what the situation is for him. And I mean, does he avoid words or sounds? Does he avoid situations? You know, does he use tricks occasionally to try and get words out? These are all things that I would need to know from you. But it may be that if he's not suitable for the McGuire programme, then I'll be able to direct you into a channel that might be able to help. But again, that's quite I'm sorry I can't say any more than that at the moment. I definitely can't say yes until I find out more about the situation.
Thanks, Matt. The next one from Johan is, hi, what if English is your second language? Are there any challenges in transferring these techniques to your home language?
Okay, well, the answer I can say from my experience is that there wouldn't be a problem with that, with transferring the techniques. It's more about the techniques we teach you rather than anything else. There's been a lot of people that have joined the program with their first language being not English, and they've learned it in their second language, English, and then they've used the techniques in their first language as well. So I can't see there being a problem. Paul's going to answer this. Just one other thing before he does as well. In some countries, we are teaching the program in a different language as well. But at the moment, most of the countries are doing it still in English. Paul.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, just to add to that, really, I've taught, I think it's 6 courses in India over the last few years, and there are many different languages in India. We teach it in English, and the guys basically use English throughout the course, but we have sessions during the course so that they can go off and practice using it in their own native tongue. When we then talk about the support network, like Chantal did earlier, there are groups of McGuire graduates scattered across India that all share different languages. So there's plenty of opportunities for them to come together. The same is true for the guys that joined us from Sri Lanka. They attended their course in India, but then they go back to Sri Lanka and they've got their own little support network there. So yes, everything might be taught in English. That's only because most of the instructors are lazy, only speak one language. But then you've got plenty of opportunities to practice and then carry that on when you go home.
Excellent. Thank you, Paul. That's great. I know that Ali mentioned about Pakistan. What's the fee for the McGuire programme? Honestly, Ali, I don't know. I have not got a clue. The best thing I can do is forward you to Khawaja, who's the regional director of Pakistan, and he'll be able to have a chat with you and tell you about the fees for the courses over in his region. Okay, that's the only thing that I can say. Again, get in contact with me, and I can get you in contact with Khawaja. Okay, I think that's it. Oh yeah.
The next question was from Vicky, who asked about the next online course, so just maybe to reiterate the dates, Matt.
Yeah, the 7th to the 10th. Yes, I see you've put something on there already. So yeah, the 7th to the 10th. Vicky, it would be great to have a chat with you and find out a bit about you and what you want from the programme. Again, where we start now is that we do arrange chats for approximately 45 minutes, an hour with each person on the phone or preferably on Zoom, so that we can get to know you. You can find out more about the McGuire programme from me, and then you can go away and think about it and think about what is the right thing to do. That's what we did with the other 5 newbies here. I'm sure they can remember as well. So they've had to go through that as well. So that's the best thing that I can do at the moment. I see there's quite a few South African inquiries here. It's great that you've all responded to my messages to you all. And I think there's a question here about face-to-face next year. Will UK ones be happening any earlier? Okay, Harry. Yeah. I'm getting so many questions asked me about I really don't know what's going to happen with COVID this year, but by the end of this month, I'm going to potentially make a decision on whether we can run a course in the UK at the end of this year. Okay, so there is a possibility for November. I don't know how big or how small. It totally depends on the situation in the UK. What I don't want to do is to get people to commit and then let people down. And I don't want to put anyone at risk at all. So we're just going to have to wait and see, unfortunately. I know it's frustrating. Okay.
Matt, there's 2 in there. I can jump in and answer if you like.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Are you a member for life after the course? Yes, indeed. Once you graduate your first McGuire course, you become a graduate of the programme, and that entitles you to free lifetime support. You are encouraged to come back and attend refresher courses and top-up courses as you see fit. But yes, you are a member for life. You won't pay the same membership fee again, There will be admin fees to pay during your refresher courses and subsequent courses, but all very, very much reduced compared to the original membership fee. And Abby, very interesting question. I'm glad you've asked that. My stammer is very mild and I am very fluent, and I am very fluent. Could the program benefit me? Yes. What I would ask you is be open and honest about your iceberg we spoke about earlier. Think of that small percentage that's visible above the waterline. So you're saying that your stammer is very mild and I'm very fluent. Well, that fluency is what you're showing to your listener. What's happening inside of you? What are the feelings and thoughts and emotions that are going through you every time you worry about opening your mouth? You know, are you preparing what you're going to say? Are you writing a script? Have you worked out what words you can and can't say and you're avoiding the ones you can't say? Imagine a life where you can say any word you want to anybody you want at any time. That's what we can give you. So yes, you might be able to get by. I've spoken to many graduates that didn't feel as though it was too much of an issue. But actually, when you start to strip back and you start to understand the psychological element of a stammer, then it's a completely different story.
Fantastic, Paul. And I think, Abby, if this is you, I've got a meeting with you tomorrow for an hour, so we'll be able to have a good chat about it all as well. Chantal, I saw you nodding your head as well. Chantal Clough, a very similar question to what you asked me before you joined the programme.
It was, Matt. Yeah, I was in denial, I think. And although, in my opinion, I had a mild stammer, I still had a stammer, and it was still making me miserable, and I was still holding back, and I was avoiding things that I was tired of avoiding, and I was exhausted. So have a chat with Matt, Abby, because I think I was in a very similar situation, and it's the best thing I did, and I'm no longer scared, and I'm presenting, and on the phone, you can't shut me up. So have a good chat to Matt about it.
Thank you. Okay, a couple of questions as well that we've just received as well in the questions and answers. What is the minimum age to take part in the programme? No minimum age, but I mean, Hassine, are you 14? 14 or 15, Hassine?
I'm 13 at the moment. 13,
sorry, you're 13. Again, it's all about how mature the person is and how much they really want it. So, I've known some 18, 19-year-olds who aren't really enthusiastic in wanting to work at their speech and just want a cure. This programme isn't, unfortunately, for them. But if you're a 13-year-old lad who really does want this badly and is willing to follow the directions that are quite tough at times, but willing to get through the tough course, and there's no reason at all why you can't do well. It is different going back to school and having to use the techniques. We've got under 18 support groups as well that we run occasionally, and again, that sort of thing is more to focus on young people going through speech difficulties at school and with their peers, etc., etc. But yeah, this program can work. There's a lot of commitment from the parents as well until they're 18, though. And obviously at the moment it is online only, which, as you can see from the five that were spoken today, it is very successful, but it is different from the face-to-face courses. Is the cost less for online? No, it's exactly the same for online, £995. That's the reason for that is that once you join the program after your first course, you are a member for life. You will be asked to attend a face-to-face course as soon as possible as well, once we have face-to-face courses, because again, there's different things on that you will learn from the online courses. Okay, but you are a member for life, so you will have all of the support. You're not really paying for this first course. You're paying for the lifetime support. That's what you're paying for. It doesn't matter where your first course is. It's really important that you think about this as the long term and working on your speech as you go through journey of life, or whatever you want to say, because it's, yeah, I've been on the programme since 1998 and still use the techniques, mostly have great days. Some days I'm a bit sloppy and I need to be a bit more disciplined, and, you know, but it changes your mindset. It changes the way that you feel about yourself so much, this programme. And not having to wake up feeling sick about stammering anymore is huge. It's huge. Still, okay. So, anything else? I think that's about it, is it? Yes. If there is any other questions, please feel free to contact me. It will be really good to hear from you. Thank you for such a good turnout today. I think there was at one stage about 25 attendees at one stage, something like that. So that's great. And thank you again to all of you who've come and took part in today's webinar. It's been great for you and great for us. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you and bye for now. Stay safe.